Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to the whole world. This is another live session of Vithoulkas Homeopathic Community, and today I will be the host to have an interview with one of the. Can you see me and hear me? Okay. Hello again. There was some technical glitch. It's fine now, I think. So today we are with us Dr. Mahesh Mallapa from Bangalore. He is one of the most successful homeopath in India. He started his work by influenced by one of the Right Livelihood awardee, Dr. Sudarshan, and he joined his team to work with the tribals of Karnataka. Then he started the de-addiction projects to the tribals of Karnataka, and right now he is also doing clinics and the camps for the rural area in Karnataka, and there he started documenting all the cases, and that's how we are having so many document cases of Dr. Mahesh, be it for vitiligo, gangrene, psoriasis, pediatric cases, etc., etc., etc. Then he also published numerous articles in medical peer-reviewed journals with Professor George Vithoulkas. In 2006, he established Center of Classical Homeopathy, and he is a director. He is also ardent student of Professor George Vithoulkas, and right now he is also one of the teacher at the International Academy of Classical Homeopathy. He is also coordinating the e-learning course in Bengaluru, Karnataka. In few years back, he had one of the biggest seminar in India, and we called it Event India, and he organized it, and over 1,200 delegates from all around the world, from almost 8 countries and 21 states of India, have came over there to attend that particular seminar. And he also invited by the Ministry of Ayush at the Committee of Cancer Program. So I can add more and more and more with this, but he is treating so many cases day in and out, and the count is almost near about 22,000 cases he has already treated. So I would warmly welcome Dr. Mahesh.
Namaste, Viraj.
Hello, sir.
Namaste.
First of all, thank you for giving us your time and have a chat with us, because you really inspire us. What you have achieved so far is really an inspiring story. So, and that's why we would like to know more from yourself only.
Yeah.
uh, So tell us about how are you now first, and how you feel being a part of this community.
It's really fantastic, and it's really important to bring the experiences and spread it across the community is plays a major role in the as in the learning, and also in knowing what's the possibility with homeopathy and how one can do this. All these things will be spread through such media. So I really appreciate the work that's going on. Yeah.
Okay, my first question would be like this:
Yes.
how you came across the teachings of Professor Vithoulkas? Because I personally known you that you are really inspired by the teachings of Professor, and once you have said that someone asked you that why you are not going to learn from some other person, and you told that first let me complete this man and then we will
Exactly.
see.
Exactly.
That's what I I,
Exactly.
I have in my mind. So tell us about the story, how you came across the teachings of Professor.
So first it began like I wanted to do medicine, as every student had a wish. I had a little deep desire to do medicine, and but of course I didn't get seated in the conventional medicine, because at that time I want to tell you this strange thing. The place where I was born, brought up, we had a homeopathic government homeopathic college in the same area, but it never occurred to us by any means that there is such a therapeutic modality like homeopathy. You can take treatment for your ailments. We had no absolute influence, though it was right there in my birthplace. My school was next to that college, next building, but it never occurred to us that there is such a system. And when I didn't get into medicine, I got selected for dentist. My dad said, "No, dentist is you don't need to do that." Then he suggested, "Why don't you do alternate?" And of course, I opted for Ayurveda as my first option. But my desire was to study medicine. The director, the uh, selection board, he said, homeopathy has the same medical subjects as the conventional medicine. That was the only thing that made me choose homeopathy at that time. So I chose homeopathy mainly because I can study medicine. That was the desire. So, and I didn't get selected for any other thing. The only thing I got selected was for homeopathy, because I was terribly interested in, strongly interested in automobiles. I wanted to be a doctor or an automobile engineer. I was so interested, fascinated as a child, but I didn't get selected for engineering or Ayurveda or anything. It was exclusively only thing I got selected was homeopathy. So the first day when I entered, I see that the college is in my same area. And okay, it was in a very bad state. Though it was a government college at that time, there was no proper infrastructure. And I sat. The first day was a main important thing. They wrote the first organon, the aphorism. They wrote the first aphorism. That is the moment I realized this is my field. And I also realized people who are teaching and doing, they don't know. On the same day, So basically, I'm from a science student. I don't accept things which are not logical or verifiable. So I was attacking the teachers, why it is like this, why it is not scientific. Then 27 years back, one of the professor, he said, you cannot be convinced with these our teachings. He said, he gave me a book of the first book of Professor George Vithoulkas, The Medicine of the New Millennium. He gave me
Ah.
that book and said, he's the only person who can answer it. And then I read that book, I see science. He talks science. He speaks science. I said, finally, I see something science. And this is how the journey started. But that was not enough. For me, as a homeopath, as a homeopathic student, that was not enough. Then I had a great desire to do something useful. Even when I was completing my first year, started with second year, I had a great desire. I have to do something useful. So started going for different camps, making a different free camps, of course. And at that time, I thought only studying will help. So with the same desire, even when I was in BRLs for 3 years, I was reading constantly. If I touch the Borike book in one place, I know which remedy I'm in. So much of study, I thought studying will help me. No. Then I got introduced to second book in 99, Essence. Then I had a treasure. Every time I read it, I see new information. Every time. So, and then the big turn was attending professor's seminar in Mumbai. And when I saw him the first day, so the first words, first case presentation, I decided he's the master and I should go behind him. So the journey started, actual journey started from 2000. But in 95, the book turned. But at that time, he's a big man, very big man. How to even approach him, how to study under him. It was a very big question, and we had no access actually at that time. Like how students have now, there was no such access. It was staying in a Aloni's house in a remote island, teaching there. How to go, it's not even imaginable. So first time when I saw, I recorded his voice, words, all those 3 days seminar. I recorded complete words of him, which even I have now. And in the hills, BR Hills, in the top of the hills, I was listening almost more than 10 to 12 hours a day. Every day. Every day, the people who were in my next room got so bored. What are you listening every day the same? For months, just play the audio things and listen. And as I listened to that talk, read essence, and then I started implementing on the cases. That is the time I got the results, actual results. So it was but the thing is, though it was a very intensely involved, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was no such good moment like that in my life. So listening to him directly was one. And of course, the biggest turn was when I met him in 2006.
Yes, I must say about the books, Homeopathy for New Millennium and The Essence. These books are gems. All of the books are gems. But Essence is it will turn your mathematica up down and down to up. Okay, so going with this journey, we
Yeah,
uh, we we would like to know that we have also heard that it will be very difficult at that time to go to the Greece, and
right.
then we have to travel from Greece to the island. So it will be very difficult to go there. And we also heard that you had little bit a different experience while traveling to there. So can you please share us how you went to the academy?
It's a that time getting a visa was so difficult, especially for a youngster having no financial background. We are zero. So with such conditions to go to an abroad with a visa is unimaginable. So I applied 3 times. In the maximum time that you can apply is 3 times a year. I was trying in 2005, I didn't get. 2006, I applied 3 times, and then 3 times I was rejected. So again, I wanted to apply fourth time. They said, no, this is the maximum limit. You cannot apply anymore. So I said, no, I've been trying since 2 years, spending a lot of money traveling from Bangalore to Delhi. At that time, for one person, it used to cost like 30,000. Within a span of 3 months, I've spent nearly 1 lakh only on travel tickets. Person having no money actually. So I was desperate. I was taking loan and traveling and applying for visa. At that time, the biggest problem was you have to go to the embassy directly. There was no facility like VFS, what we have now. So you have to take the application, apply to the in the embassy by yourself, and you have to give personally the interview. That was another crazy thing in Delhi within June with the 50 degree, 48, 50 degree. It was a horrible experience for us. But that was the only situation. So I asked the agent, I've been rejected 3 times. What else I have as an option? Then they said, this is an exceptional option, but I don't know how you will manage. But if someone from Greece, if they can talk to embassy, then embassy may consider. And here, the big thing happened, but it's the it's the representation of the kind of person, what professor is, uh, who deserve to call as an ideal teacher. He doesn't know me personally. We never met personally. I'm a student, but we never met. We don't know anything. And I was writing a letter to him saying, sir, I'm asking too much, but I have no other option. I said, someone can talk from Greece to the embassy. I can apply for the visa again. And Sima was like, he doesn't know you. Right? How can you expect such a big thing to happen to you? I said, I don't know. My heart says to do like this. So I know I'm asking big, but I will ask. So I sent the letter. Within, I think, 48 hours, I have a reply saying, go and meet such and such a person in the embassy tomorrow by 9 o'clock. I came back from Hubli at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and next day morning, I have to be there in Delhi at 9 o'clock. Where traveling itself will take 3.5 hours, and I have to book the tickets at that time, which is again a big difficult. Situation came in such a way that I could book the tickets, and immediately I left house, and on the way I collected the ticket and went to the airport directly. So, and again, there was another problem in the aircraft. So it was, instead of leaving at 6 o'clock, we left at 10 o'clock. I reached in the midnight. Hardly I slept. And I go to embassy. The funny part was, the security guards in the embassy, they were Indians actually, though it is a Greek embassy, security guards are Indians. So
Yeah.
I've been there for almost 2 years, frequently visiting, so he would recognize me easily.
They know
So,
you.
yeah, I said, okay, give the slip. I said, give it inside to the High Commissioner. He said, what are you doing? You give like this and they will accept? He said, what will you give? Take. So I said, please take and go. Because it's common man, as a common man, if you go, you have to stand in the sun for like hours in 45, 50-degree temperature. And then you have to go in a small path and you have to peep into a small window where ambassador will be sitting in a bulletproof glass, and you have to talk
Yeah.
distance,
Yes.
and then you come back. That's all. So, and there is no way that you can access the people inside, embassy people. And finally, I shouted at him that we have spoken, give this. So he received the. I wrote, the Professor George Vithoulkas has told us. So something I wrote and then I sent. High Commissioner comes outside. There will be a
Oh.
big gate, entrance gate, which will be closed most of the time, only for very VIP people. And we all should go in a very narrow side path to meet the ambassador for interview. She came out and said, open the main gate.
Oh.
The guard was shocked. As a common ordinary man, and she says, open the gate. Main gate was open. I entered into the entrance with the red carpet.
Oh.
I went with her inside. She takes my passport, stamps, gives to my hand.
My God.
I said, I couldn't believe what's happening here. Then, after when I visited Professor for the first time, he just said one word. He said, do you know how much I struggled to get you the visa? I said, I don't know, sir. So,
What?
and I never got to know why such thing happened. And I should tell you this. Once she stamped my passport and I came out of the gate, I see that the guard is still paralyzed. He couldn't understand what's happening. And he said, except President of India, you are the only one to go in this gate.
My God.
So I was so happy I got visa. I had no time to react to him. I just kept. Later on, I realized that he struggled so much to get an influence from the government level. And then they considered me because it was from the Prime Minister Office of Greece. I didn't know this for many, many years. He struggled so much to get an influence from that. And that's why they considered me so easily, and then I get the visa so easily. This was like something unimaginable. But here, you should see the kind of person. He doesn't know me personally, who I am. What he knows is this person is so interested in learning. That's all. And it is his duty to help such person, such student. You see what extent he can go to help a real student, to learning student. So that you should see and appreciate his greatness, his desire to help people who are willing to study homeopathy. And then he's, not only to me, he has done so many things. Everybody knows what he has done. Uh, but for me, what he has done is something that no one can imagine.
I
This is
don't
the
think
story.
so that this story would have happened to anyone. But I would like to know what was the reaction of Seema ma'am at that time when you got the visa and you had this call, because she was telling
Okay.
you no.
Okay. Then I must tell something that happened. It was the seventh day of my father's death that I left
Oh,
to embassy for visa, because he said just go immediately. He knew, professor knew that it has happened, but I have to go because there was a call. So it was the seventh day, and before leaving, uh, just before leaving the house, I saw a pigeon. And by the way, I love pigeon from the childhood. I had a lot of pigeon in my farmhouse long back. There is a connection with me and pigeon. So I see a single pigeon, black single pigeon, which is very rare. That kind of breed is usually loves company. So, but this was alone, sitting, and it was strange. I just looked at it. Why it's so strange? That's all. I just went. And then uh, when I reached embassy at 6 o'clock in the morning, because by the time it's 10 o'clock, there'll be a lot of crowd. So I wanted to be the first. So I went at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I see the same color pigeon sitting on the embassy. See the coincidence. Then I called my brother. I said, visa is guaranteed.
okay.
Right. But when I came and told her that the High Commissioner came out and stamped, she couldn't even believe. But the more shocking thing was, I went initially with a lot of loans, taking a lot of loans because we had no money at that time. So, spending in euros, you know how difficult it is for Indians. So, I was telling Seema that, when I go to Alani's house, I should get a chance to meet Professor personally. And when I meet, I wanted to show my cases. And I even told her this. So maybe if he likes or if he's impressed with my cases, then maybe I may not be spending time for the fees. He said, stop. Don't be, you can dream, but not so much. Right? She was literally stopping me. But I was telling as if, it was a deep inside. It was coming out. So, and in Alanisa, when I met Professor, in the night, actually, again, I met in a restaurant where I used to stay all the time. He called me to join the dinner. And then I was talking. So excited, I was talking. He stopped me in between. He said, stop. What do you have to prove your work? So I said, sir, I have cases. Where? It was almost 12 o'clock in the night. He
Oh.
said, yeah. He said, I have in my laptop. Get it. I asked, sir, you want to see now? I want to see now. Get it.
12 o'clock in the night,
I
midnight.
ran
Oh.
to my room. I pick up my laptop and I showed cases. I said, very good. And he asked me, which book you read?
Ah.
I said, sir, from top to bottom, it's only George, nothing else. So, on the spot, he said, You are going to present these cases tomorrow in the class. On the
Ah,
spot, he said. And then next day, I go to academy. At that time, there was a different secretary. She calls me and says, Mahesh, you have a scholarship.
ah.
I was in the, in the not walking. I was literally flying. Then I called Seema and said, at that time, no mobile over phone, you have to put a card and talk. I called and said, I met Professor. I showed cases. He asked me to show the cases in the class, and I have scholarship. He said,
Ah.
I can't stop you with any of my words because you tell something and I see that it is happening. So she was in such a total shock. But you see the kind of preferences he gives. You see something worthy, whatever has to be required or done to that person or required for that ability, immediately he will do. That's the greatness of Professor.
He spreads happiness, nothing else.
Yes, 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 yes.
Ah, it's a really interesting story. But we would like to know more about how you came, though you have went to Alonisas to learn, and this was the first incident where you presented a case. But how you became a kind of a, what we can say companion to teach homeopathy with professor at the
It's
academy.
it's actually started from 2006. In
Oh, okay.
2006, yes, I started with the Italian groups and then with the Russian groups. So, and in the international groups. So I used to come twice. I came in June for 20 days and I wrote to him again in August, Sir, I'm not satisfied. I want more. I want to come again. He wrote in a bold letter, come back. Again, I went. And at that time, Dr. Sudarshan, whom I am working with in my
Yes.
village rural camp area, so he said, Mahesh, you are spending too much of money. So, do you think it's worth it? I said, just one minute. I have no option. This is the time that my life is opening and I'm getting a chance to learn directly under him and I have no other choice. So I will do whatever. So from 2006, I've been showing my cases and as I learn there, I come back and implement and I see so many magical cases. And again, next time when I go, show such cases. So it's been a continuous process since 2006. So it's been 16 years.
16 years. Really good, sir. It is. I'm inspired by you a lot personally because of these stories. That if you really have what we get zeal to learn and to do something good, the path will always open. Coming to the research,
Yeah.
being a husband of Dr. Seema, ma'am, how do you feel that she is also a head of research team and she is also a homeopath? What benefit you get being a companion and continuous partner as a homeopath?
I must tell you some background. When I was studying in the 2006, 7, 8, of course, my practice was always huge number of patients. Always it's been there. But her practice was not so established from the beginning. She was upset about that, though she was a topper in the university, gold medalist, but the practice was not established. So she would compare with me and then feel depressed about it. Her father helped a lot, he did a lot to make her practice flourish. So she was almost in depression in this regard. What happened in 2013, I think, 13 or 14? I just went to one of his house just to meet professor, just like that. I was in Switzerland. I just went to Greece and met professor, and I was showing the cases again. And he said, these cases should be published. Then I said, sir, my wife, she's good in writing, and she also good in writing articles. She has done some articles to some website. So he said, okay, ask her to write. And then that was the first time that she entered into writing articles. And then that was her strength, I can say. Her informations, language command, everything was focused, and good articles started coming up. That good work in turn made her a much better homeopath.
Ah,
And today, when it comes to international cases and calls, she has more cases than me. Right. So, thing is, you have to give good things. You have some good things, but unless you give the good things for a good cause, the real learning will not open up.
definitely.
I feel that in my case, why I had a big support from the beginning is because always I was inspired by Dr. Sudarshan, especially how a doctor should be. That was a big inspiration for me. Though he was an allopath, but how a doctor should be. He even now I'm under his inspiration when it comes to work as a doctor. So there are a lot of stories which explains how great he was in treating patients. That's a different thing. But out of that inspiration, when I started working, just just work, just work. My dad would ask, "How many hours you work?" 16 hours. How much you are getting?
Nothing.
Nothing. Because they gave me food, they gave me a good place to stay, they gave me a good jeep to travel in barrels with the ambulance. So why I need money? So this idea, I was very much convinced from the beginning that unless you give, there is no future.
That's
So when
true.
she started giving her strength, the actual
Hmm.
growth happened, and now she's very strong prescriber.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. We,
when it comes to research things, another thing I would like to add is it's a different um, field which involves a lot of study with immunology, with genetics.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and it needs a different expertise. Right. So
Yeah.
I don't go into the details because I'm completely immersed with my homeopathy. So, but it has enhanced the medical knowledge. So, being working with her, going through as a part of the research, it has enhanced the medical knowledge. And when we take this study abroad and present it in a different uh, allopathic conventional seminars, I've never seen a rejection. So in fact, they are fascinated by the idea, the kind of mm, the professor's idea of whether it is levels of health or so they accept, but they want more confirmation. But I've never seen rejection.
Oh, okay. That would be the next question. That with Seema ma'am being a research team member, you are going all around the world presenting. Seema ma'am is presenting papers, and you are in the audience with all the homeopaths, be it Oxford University or the big medical universities. How the medical field is watching us as a homeopath, and what are their views about our research in general?
Actually, the idea that we are carrying to these medical seminars is not as a homeopathic principle. It is basically taken as professor's observation, what he has observed, and how it is clinically true. Like, this is the main idea why there is no rejection, because it is coming from a very precise observation. His concepts are coming from the precise observation in his practice. And there is an evidence. Every time we present the papers or article in the allopathic seminar, it's the cases, most of the time it's the cases are my clinical cases. And of course, there are
Yes.
so many contributors all over the world, but there is a major cases are from my practice. So it's my case which goes into the presentations. So I think in one of the seminar, diabetic, some 500 or 600 cases was picked up only from my files. So these kind of observations are being presented with the clinical evidences. So there is no question of disregarding. So there will be an appreciation, acceptance, but as a homeopathic acceptance, that is something that still we yet to work more, right? Because as a system, it is still established as an accepted science, as a system. So it's mainly the individual expertise, right? So like what Master Ken did, what our professor did, it's the individual expertise. But in general, it is still yet to establish as an accepted logical science, right? So I've been to Sorbonne recently, and I see that it's 1,200-year-old university,
Yes, 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 yes,
including Marie Curie, Louis Pasteur.
yes.
So I was asking this question: how come universities stays for such a long period, thousands of years? So the main idea is the science principle, which was invented 1,000 years back. The basic science principle has remained the same even now. And it's not just a concept, it is a system. And the science has been developed on the same concept, which is verifiable. That's why no one can deny the science. So like that, when it comes to homeopathy, there is no such established accepted system. It's only the individual practice. Means the system is primarily depending on an individual and the expertise of an individual. When it comes to the homeopathic mass as such, there is no one system that's being followed. And that's why there is no established system. How we can expect an acceptance? So it's not bad completely from the attackers that homeopathy is not science. It's not completely bad. There is a fault in our side also. That we get to establish a system which explains all the logics, all the science factors. right? So that is still yet to be achieved.
Okay. Let us tell how and what you are thinking. As you said that we are not or up to the mark into the establishment. But do you have any idea how we can achieve that?
I'm too small to talk about those ideas. I have some ideas, but I think the best guide will be our guru. So under his guidance, because we get idea, but he tunes the idea, he corrects
Yes.
the idea
Yes.
and gives a practicality, how it is applicable
Definitely.
or feasible. He gives the clarity. So maybe if we have like how he created compass, where so many systematic thinking comes under one system, and
Hmm.
then if you know how to use it logically, how it gives a perfect results like that. If one day if we can synchronize all the principles of homeopathy, including every aspects of case taking, prescribing, analyzing, then maybe a proper system will be established. As I mean, system in the sense like how other scientific universities are established. So maybe at that
Yes.
time it will be well accepted, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully in the future.
Yes.
But I know that to try to establishment that particular thing, uh, you have conducted two big events in India, and the first one was Event India One. It was, as I said earlier, that 1,200 delegates from 8 different countries and 21 states. And then in the Event India 2, you have also a big number of students. But I remember that you have done a kind of homeopathic, what you can say, rally before Event India 1. So how did you able to do travel such a long journey? And please also tell us how what is your experience going in different colleges?
Again, the inspiration is his professor. I just had a desire to celebrate the 50 years of his teaching. So, a great master who created so many things, has given so many things to homeopathy, who taught so many students the right kind of system. So, I just wanted his teachings to be celebrated in a best possible manner from my level, from my part. So, I thought of taking his achievements and teachings all over India. I'll go to colleges and then spread what he has done, because not everyone is informed, even what he has done. Not every student is informed. So my desire was, even if one or two students get inspired by his work and achievements, which is not generally shown in the every homeopathic colleges. So if I could do that, then as a student, now it's my duty to show others what I have
Hmm.
gained.
Yes,
Right? I cannot keep it only for myself. Right? It's my
definitely.
duty to show to the other generation. So I took this inspiration of celebrating 50 years, and I just determined. And just before leaving Alanisas in 2017, September, I don't know why he said, I was just saying, bye bye, sir, I'll see you. He said, don't worry, God will help you to do everything.
Hmm.
That's all. And then 2018, this idea became more strong, much more strong. In December, actually, December 2017. And then I determined that I will travel. I've traveled almost 3.5 months, constantly driven for more than 14,000 kilometers. I drove myself all alone. Even my friend was accompanying me all the time. Said, I will drive. He said, no, it's my duty. I must do it. I didn't let anyone drive. And the most strange thing is, I've driven days, night, in a very bad road everywhere. Can you believe? In the entire journey, there is not even a single incident which was unpleasant.
Mm.
Not even a single incident. Entire journey was so pleasurable, pleasant. The stay was pleasant. Food was pleasant. Most amazing. And wherever I go, I showed the achievements of Professor, and I also said, it's not that he is a great man he achieved. No, I am a student, and what's possible?
Mm.
Learning right kind of teachings with the right kind of master. What's possible? I showed the cases.
Yes.
So that kind of presentations, nearly I used to talk like 5 to 6 hours a day, drive for like 6 hours to 7 hours a day, right? And constantly every day for 3.5 months. I don't know from where energy came. And it's not me. I can say that for sure, it's not me. Definitely it's not me. I don't have that energy. I never had that kind of energy. Right? So, but it happened. I would say it's all because of the blessings.
Definitely.
Otherwise, it's impossible. So, this is regarding a personal experience. When I went to colleges, different colleges, showing, of course, the professor's work, everybody
Mm.
appreciates. But it's hard to say that the, the existence of classical homeopathy is very, very less.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. There is a lot of confusions, and many people, many colleges, they just study only for the sake of degree and then do something. But in the deep inside, I also see the desire to study properly.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
There is a desire, but if they get a proper support and a proper teaching, I'm sure the 400 official homeopathic colleges all over India will definitely do a lot of better homeopathy, and society
Def-
can be much, much benefited out of it.
mm. That is true.
Yeah.
So, what do you see the future of homeopathy in India?
See, this system is not created by human. It's not created by human. Why I say this? Because I have to say what Professor said one day in one of his talk. He said, if you cure a person, means you take away the karma of the person.
Mm.
So I was analyzing this word, why he uses this word.
Please,
And
please say it again. Please phrase that again,
yeah,
because every listener would like to listen it again because it is very deep. Please.
he says, if you cure a person, means you have taken away the karma of the person.
Hmm.
He used the same word. It's like taking away the karma of the person. So, as I was meditating on these words for years, I do that. Every word, it's in my heart, and I meditate on that. Right? Because there is no other life for me. There is no other joy for me. Right? So, and then I realized that such cure can happen only to those people who who has done something by which they deserve a cure.
Hmm.
Otherwise, no matter what you do, how expert you are, there
Definitely.
is no way that person can be cured. Right? So I feel this divine system is is meant only for those who are destined to get cured.
Definitely.
Right? So he has created this. It is necessary for those people who are destined to be cured. And it is his duty to, to make it survive or to make it grow. It is his duty. What's our duty? Do your best. Do your best. Whatever is best according to your heart, do it
Hmm. Hmm.
and leave the rest. So, but if I see what is the possibility, I I see through what is that we are supposed to be doing. I
Hmm.
see through that.
Hmm.
Every student of professor should see what he is supposed to do.
Definitely.
And if he can do that consciously, that's it. That's it. You do that and leave the rest. So things will happen because it looks like more philosophical.
Hmm.
But I still insist on this because I see that we as a homeopath has a small role in the process of cure of an individual. We have a small role. It's not that we have a complete role. This I've
Hmm.
realized in my practice.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? So it's a so many factors are involved in a cure of a person. Right? So that's why you do your role. What exactly is going to happen with an individual will be decided by him, not by us.
Definitely.
Right? So even if I give my best and person is not better, I'm not disturbed. If he's very much better, I'm not in another level. So I just restrict myself to doing to my best.
Hmm. Okay. Very. I was still brooding that word, not brooding, but I am still thinking and of those words. But one thing I would like to ask: you said that it is patient's destiny that decides if he will get cure or not. What do you think on a part of student? Are they also destined? Because out of 100 student in the class, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 maximum number of students are doing practice real classical homeopathy. What do you think on a part of student?
And a part of a student, I didn't get the question.
At that place also the destiny works, or it is something else which is lacking?
Uh, if I answer this, probably it will be a student destiny again, say to meet a master, to learn something. Okay, I think the best example is this. What is the role of a student, even as a listener? Recently we were learning in professor's class that we never did the jumping potency. Like I give
Hmm.
200, there is a result, and if there is a relapse, he says jump and give the next one. And until there is an amelioration, you give. This was a new teaching while studying aphorism 240 to 250. Professor
Yes.
taught this. I learned that and I implemented on a case. Of course, several cases we are implementing. And I see the possibility in a different way. The circulation was not there, 99% block. Right. And then I gave a remedy and then it stuck. I would give 30 and then 32, 34, but just jumping every day and giving has changed the case situation. You see, you learn because it's needed there.
Okay.
You see the role?
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't see myself doing this. It's not for the sake of saying, oh, I shouldn't be talking about myself. No, I'm talking my experience. Because when I do, because I want to do, I'm not seeing the same result. Right? So there is a need, something should happen, and there will be a teaching. I see things like that. Maybe
Definitely.
I'm wrong, I don't know. I may be in my own world. I don't know, maybe. But this is my experience.
No. This must be the experience of each and every classical homeopath who are practicing real classical homeopathy. But I would like to ask you that how teachings of Professor changed you in as a part of or in a way of being a homeopath and in a way of being a human. How his teaching changed your life?
I would like to say what Professor just said about me. Every time, may not be every time, or many times I can say, whenever I meet him, he says, you are changing. It's his word. It's a great blessing. It's a great blessing to be with such person and the influence that happens. And of course, as a homeopath, it's everybody's experience, how they evolve from one stage to another. It's everybody's experience. But as an individual, I can say that my heart is more lighter than before. It was heavier before because of my own weight, not physical weight. Right? Because of my own identity weight. So as I seek things from him, heart is more and more lighter, more and more free. Right? So I had a lot of, for example, impulse to react, very strong impulse to react. You also might have seen.
Yes.
So now I question myself. What is the need to react? So like this, being is so much better as an individual. So I can say as only we are blessed.
Can you also please give some case example where you were stuck and teachings of homeopathy, not teachings of professor have solved that particular case?
Actually, that happens only if teaching comes as a guest. Right?
Okay.
In my case, there is no such guest. There is only one teaching. I
Yes.
told my friends and colleagues
Yes.
20, 25 years back, I told that Actually, they were questioning me or restricting me that you are very narrow. You are very restricted by yourself. You are not open. You should see the different teachings. Then you will grow. And I said, let me complete this, man. Then I will go to somebody. I'm lost in the same teaching. Where is the question of going now? So, if at all I'm stuck, it's not because of the teaching, lack of teaching I'm stuck. It's because of my own problem I'm stuck. Right. So, I try myself best, and then if things has to happen, it will happen. Right?
Okay.
I can say in one word, as an individual, make yourself worthy so that homeopathy can flow through you. I like to say this, a human can never conquer homeopathy completely. I don't believe this. I can only say in my experience that if you are capable, make yourself in such a way that it pass through. Right. So that's all the thing matters.
Okay, so coming to last question in regard to this particular question, what you will give as a advice or suggestions to budding homeopaths or like me or to become a successful homeopath?
You are a very strong person. Strong homeopath. Okay. I have something to say. It's again, I will tell this word. It's my personal perspective. I may be wrong, right? So, but I would like to share. Right now,
Yes,
in
yes.
this moment, it feels like it's a right thing, but I may be wrong. But I would like to share. You know, when we are in the class, when professor analyzes, most of the students will think why we cannot think like him, right? Why we cannot see what he sees, isn't it?
Definitely.
Definitely, right?
I have
This was my
experienced
question.
it.
This was my question. How come this man see things so clearly? And when we read Organon during the professor's teaching, he will say, look at his sensitivity. Look at his observation. I said, my God, why we don't have this? So this was a long-lasting question for me. And after several years of working, I think I could find the reason why we can't and why he could do. Okay, so my answer is, there is a word, unprejudiced observer. Right. Okay, I'm also wants to be an unprejudiced observer, and I try to be unprejudiced observer. But can I see what professor sees? No. It's not just possible. I can't even understand what he's trying to see and explain. So why we are not good in observing as it is? We have intelligence, we have emotions, mind, and this intelligence is actually, I'm talking in generally, commonly, is not free. Means, right now our intelligence, as a common man, is being controlled, driven, or manipulated. It's being influenced completely by our mind and our instincts
mm,
our senses and instincts. So it's being clouded and controlled by
mm,
these
mm,
things.
mm,
So if you want to be an unprejudiced observer, you need to have that intelligence which is free from the influence of the mind.
mm.
So we call in our Hindu language, we call Shuddha Buddhi,
Yes.
right? So unprejudiced observation happens from Shuddha Buddhi, pure intelligence, means one which is not influenced. So if we can work in this line to make the intelligence free from the influences, then probably our observations will be much better.
Mm.
This is one. Now, how to do this?
That's what my question is. It's easy to say to leave all the things, but it's difficult to leave.
Yes. So, as Professor also says, your homeopathy is better if you are a better human.
Hmm.
Right? So, it's the same experience with me. So, how to be an unprejudiced observer? We need to follow, or this is what I learned from scriptures and in life experience and professors teaching, that we need to follow certain things in our action. First thing,
Hmm.
we have time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's time.
Okay. Okay. So first thing is we should know what is our duty.
Hmm.
The awareness of duty, or in other words, the wisdom of duty.
Hmm.
Because we do so many things with conscious, without conscious, but we are not sure that
Hmm.
what we are supposed to do,
Definitely.
right? I like to give an example.
Yes.
I asked one of my student, can you tell me what the good things you have done in your life? She
Hmm.
started from her memory, 3 years, 4 years of age. She started telling, I've been to this ashram, this orphanage. I did this service in the cancer hospital, this, that. She started giving a huge list. Then I asked, can you tell me the bad things you have done in your life? She couldn't. Why? Because every time we make a mistake, we have a justification for that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Because this happened, so I did this.
Yes.
So it doesn't get recorded. This is the expression, the experience of a common man. So
Hmm.
from this stage, you should rise to a level where the work should be done out of conscious, the duties should be done out of conscious. So this wisdom of duty is the primary thing. What am I supposed to do?
Yes.
Right. So this is one. Okay, I will do this. What I will get? This is our immediate question. You know, when I was working in the BR Hills, I stayed in the forest for 3 years. And 3 years, I took nothing actually. I said, I'm very happy, I'm doing this job. My dad said, how much you're earning?
Nothing.
I said, nothing. Because I was so happy doing. So immediately the question comes, why should I do? What I will get? So here lies the secret. If you guess or if you expect and you do work without expectation, then you cannot really do work what you're supposed to do. So you say, give the expectation, give up expectation. This again. And third, you have to give up in the name of the Creator. Why? You see,
it will not come to your ego if you.
you see, no, it's actually fact. I'll tell you an example.
Yes.
I cook something. I use water, fire, so many ingredients, blah, blah, blah. I cook. And after cooking, what I'll say, this is my food, right? If you really see in the real sense,
It's not yours.
water, air, this belongs to every creature. This is not my own property, right?
Yes.
All creatures has the rights on this. So you've used these things and you cooked and you said, this is mine. I will enjoy. That's not true. You have to give the first share to others because you have used something which belongs to everyone. Right. So that's why we have in our Indian custom, moment we cook, we take a part, either give it to
Creator.
animal or a cow or some beggar. This is how the tradition is done. It's not a tradition. It's a realizing the reality. If we deny that I'm consuming something which belongs to everyone, then you are not conscious. So it is logically it is correct to realize that it belongs to everyone and the Creator. So better you take your part. Consciously you take your part and then rest you give back. Right. So performing our action like this, there are two more principles, but I don't want to drag more. It will be too much. So I feel if one can live with such conscience, realizing what he sees, what he is supposed to do, and doing that, and not expecting out of it, and then give whatever you have received, take your own part, and then it's proper to give up the remaining part, whichever it belongs. Practicing with such conscience can make your mind free. For a period of time, if you practice, it can make your mind free. This is what I've seen in Professor's work. You see, he helped me with what expectation? He doesn't even know me. Right? He didn't know that I will be practicing like this in the future, so I will help him today. No, he didn't do it with that intention. It was his duty to help do that. So that realization of this wisdom of duty, I've seen in him. Right. So, and then he gives what he is getting out of it, not bothered. Can you say he's bothered by his results? No.
No.
Any of his student so will easily say, no, he's not bothered what he's getting by giving. Right. This is the example. Life example. Right. And that's why person has such vision, such wisdom and vision. Hope I'm understanding him properly. Right. And I see that the same thing he's told in our Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
As a principle, it's being told in the same way. So what else confirmation you need? So it's once your mind, your intelligence is free, then the way we perceive materia medica is different.
It's different. Yes.
Different.
Exactly.
Yes. So That's what I want to share to whoever wants to listen to my experience. That please focus on this. Don't think only by reading you will learn homeopathy. I'm not seeing a problem with intelligence. Like,
Hmm.
oh, it requires such a higher level of intelligence and we are not that intelligent. No. As an intelligent level, it's good enough. But you cannot deal with existing intelligence. You need to be free in certain level. Otherwise, it's difficult to catch the real one. Hope I didn't bore people
No, no, no,
saying
no,
too
no.
many
I
philosophical
can
things.
no. I can see in the comments that each and every one are enjoying and getting inspired by your words. I can see in the comments the love they are showering on you. And finally, I would like to say again, thank you for your time and sharing your life experience and the experience with teachings of Professor with us. And we will again like to have you in future also with
I'm looking
more
forward to that.
with more experience and more what we can say motivating stories which you have already had with your with professor and in your life.
Yeah.
Finally, yes, please.
No, 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 no. I'm done. I talked. I put too much. I tell so many things. I feel a little embarrassed.
No. Really, thank you for your time. And after this, I would be sharing one of the article which we have published into the journal Wiley Clinical Reports, and they have made a special video for that particular article. And that particular article is on psoriasis. So we would like to play that particular video and then we will end. So I will take a little bit of more your time,
Sure,
Mahesh sir.
sure.
A recent case study reports the apparent benefits of classical homeopathy for people with varying severities of psoriasis. Their conclusion? A more holistic approach that goes beyond skin clearance might be one solution for certain sufferers of the disease. Psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory disease affecting more than 125 million people worldwide. In addition to its effect on the skin, psoriasis can take a psychological toll due to its appearance. And if tied to systemic inflammation, it can even cause serious morbidity or death. Modern treatment options for psoriasis, such as the use of biologics, are designed to block the inflammatory factors that give rise to disease symptoms. While generally effective, these agents can actually weaken patients' immune system, making their prolonged use risky. That has many researchers exploring alternative routes for treatment that go beyond clear skin to achieve a better quality of life. For at least 6 patients in India, classical homeopathy has presented one promising path. The patients exhibited psoriasis of varying severity, from lesions isolated to the scalp or feet to near full body coverage. Individualized homeopathic treatment proved effective for the entire group. In the 2 most severe cases, patients experienced substantial improvements in their psoriasis area and severity index. In other cases, patients achieved complete remission. The authors of the study point to the highly personalized nature of homeopathy in obtaining these results. Unlike traditional medicine, which often seeks a global solution to a given health problem, homeopathy takes a more tailored approach. It investigates the genetic and epigenetic influences a person is exposed to and their reaction to those influences to devise a medical treatment plan. Within this context, the researchers interpret their findings according to the levels of health theory by Professor George Vithoulkas. This theory states that different people show different responses to treatment based on their unique state of health at any given time. That state is determined by a combination of genetic factors and external stressors. Understanding how to properly differentiate patients can help physicians devise effective plans for treatment. In this study, for example, those with the most severe cases of psoriasis were placed on a longer homeopathic regimen. Much larger controlled studies are needed to determine whether this homeopathic approach might be widely effective. Such research could be instructive in developing new treatment options for the millions of people who live with psoriasis or other chronic conditions.
We will be putting this link, those who wants to read this particular article. So we will put this article's link into the comment box. And finally, we would like to again thank Dr. Mahesh for giving us a very inspiring session. And I can see in the comment box again that they are really thanking you so much for inspiring them. And keep doing what you are doing. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next time with another guest. Good night. Keep safe yourself and your family. Bye bye.